Hi guys. We're going to be making pencil skirts today. This is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It's a leftover fabric from an outfit that I made and it will work. We're going to get right into it, and the measurements that we'll be needing is waist, hip, skirt length, and bust point. Bust point because of our darts. So bust point 7, skirt length 20, hip 38, waist 28. Alright, let's start. Remember that whenever you want to fold, you're folding right side on right side so you can chalk the wrong side. Don't forget. So let's calculate it. We're going to line the skirt. So waist plus 2 divided by 4 is 30 divided by 4 is 7.5 plus another 2. 1 inch for that, 1 inch for sewing. That's 9.5. Hip plus 2 divided by 4, 40 divided by 4. 10 plus 1, sewing allowance, 11. So 9.5 and 11. So the fullest one is 11. So I'm going to fold by 11. This is 11. All my allowance is already included in that 11, so I just go right ahead and fold. And I'll be folding 11 by, skirt length is 20, 2 inches for turning the hem of the skirt, and half inch for closing the waistline. So 22.5. This is, let me be sure, 11 by 22.5. I marked it twice so I can make a straight line without stress. Alright, so I can continue on my measurements. In fact, I can cut this out now so I have a smaller piece and it's easier for you to see. Alright, now this is my hem because I choose it to be my hem. This is my center front. This is my center front. This is my hem, and this is my waistline. So what you want to do, the first thing we're going to do is, remember we'll put half inch for waistline, so I'll mark half inch. That will be my allowance. So from here I will now start measurement. My waist to hip measurement is 8 inches. That's the distance between my waist and my hip. Alright, so this is hip. So we have waistline, hip line, length of skirt. The rest of the fabric down here is my allowance. We have waist here, we have hip here. I'm going to mark my dart, but my dart is not going to go all the way to my hip. It's going to stop at 2 inches before the hip. Alright, so I have marked where my dart will stop. This measurement is where my dart will stop. This is my normal hip. So my bust point is 7, and 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I have 3.5 there, and I'll mark it here too. 3.5. Half on both sides to make our dart. Yeah, so that's the dart. Then I just take it straight up, so we can notch. So now my calculated waist is 9.5. I just go ahead and mark 9.5. Calculated hip is 11. I just go ahead and mark 11. Then here on this my line 20, I'm going to mark 11 minus 1. Now you can do 11 minus 1.5 to make it really pencil. You can do 11 minus 1.5, but if you do 11 minus 1.5, it will restrict your movement because you know it'll be really pencil. If you don't mind, then good. But if you're making for an elderly person or you're making for somebody that doesn't like discomfort, I would advise that you use 1 inch, and 11 minus 1 is 10. So what I'm trying to say is basic pencil skirt should be minus 1.5, but because some of us like comfort more than we do minus 1. All right, so I marked my hip to meet the line 20, and I'm going to shape my waist to meet my hip. Yep. And then I'll mark this straight down. This my skirt length is 20. If your skirt length was 25, let's say your skirt length is 25, the amount of inches that we reduced, you will reduce on line 20. It doesn't matter what your length of skirt is. So I'll just cut. Always cut outside the chalk so you don't reduce your measurement. I'll notch this place so I can know that this is where my allowance starts from. I'll notch just a little bit here and here so I can tell on both sides where my dart is going to be. So this is front. Now I will use this one to cut back. I'm going to be folding by 12 because of zip allowance. I just place this on this, and automatically this one is 1 because I folded 12. All right, so I'll just do the same thing. I'm not touching this zip allowance, I'll touch it later. So of course it has the same shape on the sides. We used our bust point in front, but for your back there's a bulge at the back. You don't expect your dart to be as narrow as it is in front. It's just going to look weird. So for your back dart, you calculate your back dart by calculated waist minus 1 divided by 2. Our calculated waist is 9.5 minus 1 is 8.5 divided by 2 is 4 1/4. 4 1/4. So back dart is going to be 4 1/4. Now I'm going to measure my 4 1/4 starting from here, not starting from here. There is zip allowance here. So if I'm going to measure now, I'm going to measure 5 1/4 if I want to start from the edge. If I don't want to start from the edge, then I have to mark the 1 inch, then start from here. But it's easier for me to start at the edge, so I'll just mark 5 1/4. 5 1/4. This is 5 1/4, then half on each side. Do you understand? Half on each side. Now I don't have to do this because at the end of the day, I already know that here to here is 6 inches. This was 8. We went up by 2, so I already know it's 6 inches. So when I'm sewing, I will just go 6.5 plus this allowance. So I'll just notch it again so I know where to start. So I know where my dart is. Now if you can see that it's not the same measurement. So this is that at the back 4 1/4, that in front 3.5. They're not the same thing. For your zip allowance, you don't just do straight like this and cut it open. No. So first of all, I'm going to cut it open because your back is not on fold. It's only your front. Your front that is on fold. What I'm going to do is, there was half inch here. There is half inch here for allowance of joining waistline. From here, I will measure to my hip. My hip is 8 inches, I will go down by 1 inch. So my hip is 8 inches, I go down by 1 inch. That's 9 inches. If your waist to hip is 7, go down by 1 inch, you'll be 8. From there to your line 20, See what I'm about to do. This is my line 20. So I don't stress myself, I just mark it here. I'm going to slant it like this. So this way your skirt is really pencil and it lays at the back. The way your ass sits when you're wearing a skirt. Let me make a rough sketch. So this is somebody. This is the front. This is her back. This is around. See this, the way this place lays like this. This place, that's this place. It will sit on your back this way. So that's what we have done, and we're done with our cutting of fabric. Then we'll move on to cutting our lining. It's pretty simple really, because we've cut the main fabric, so we're just going to be placing lining, the fabric on the lining. And I put my fabric on it. The part that is unfold on the fabric is the same part that is unfold on the lining. So we added 2 inches to the hem, and we added 2 inches so that when you sew your skirt with the lining, the wrong side of the skirt looks like this. This one will be inside. Your lining will start from here. So let's say we have put lining. This is what the wrong side of your skirt will look like. It's neater this way. There is no stitch on the hem of your skirt. And even if for whatever reason the skirt opens up at your knee, it's still the Ankara or the fabric that will be showing there. That's why we put 2 inches. So if for instance, when I was saying that 1 inch is fine too, so if it was 1 inch will be like this. This is the amount of fabric that will be inside. If it is 3 inches, this is the amount of fabric that will be inside before lining starts. I hope you understand. So it is 2 inches. We left 2 inches and I notched it already. So what I'm going to do is fold it once. Now I need you to pay attention. Fold it once like this, and then the ½ inch that I will use to join it to the lining. You know, I will use ½ inch to join it to the lining. That will mean that my 2 inches has now become 1.5 to mark 1.5 that will be left over inside. So this ½ inch that will join to the lining, I'm going to fold it again like this. I'm folding it like this because of the way that we are going to turn the lining. Your lining is automatically shorter than your fabric. So I've pinned it. I can as well pin this other side too. So here, this hem, you know it was ½ inch that we took in here. We'll hold ½ inch here too. So I'm going to measure ½ inch here. So the ½ inch here and the ½ inch that is inside that we have folded, both of them will meet each other and they will become one. So we're going to do the same thing for the back. We're going to do the same thing we did in front. Oops, I didn't notch this guy. Okay, I have to. Let me notch it now. Alright, so the same thing we did. Fold into 2. Right. You need both of them to rhyme because what happens to one has to happen to the other one. So this is the notch here, 2 inches, the ½ inch here, and then we pin. All right, so I'll just cut. So we're done, and then we move over to sewing. So this is back, this is front. and then you go to sew. See you in the sewing.